What is going on with Ethereum? After a huge 2021, where the price increased over 400%, so far this year, Ethereum is still down 15%. So, are the best times over for Ethereum as competitors continue to take market share? Or is Ethereum just taking a much needed break before the next big bull run? Well, I believe if we take our eyes off the price for just 1 second and take a look under the hood, then things are looking great for Ethereum and the next big bull run is going to be epic. So in this video, we are going to be looking at, first up, some Ethereum price analysis. What do the charts say? Then we'll take a look at the key fundamentals, which all has to do with supply and demand metrics. And then we'll finish up with the 3 recent developments for Ethereum, all of which are extremely bullish. As always, if you do enjoy anything in the video, then drop a like, always appreciated. Okay, so after a ridiculously good 2021, Ethereum hasn't had the best start to this year. But here is why I think the Ethereum price is soon to be going much, much higher. Ready? Let's do this. So let's start out looking at a good old Ethereum price chart. And we've also got the 200-day moving average and the 50-day as well. So as we can see, it's probably from about mid-November since it hit its high. Ethereum has really struggled and it's just been going down and bottoming out late January. Now, around this point here, as Bitcoin went below 50% from its all-time high, I did make a purchase and I added to Ethereum and C20. So only time will tell whether I pretty much timed this perfectly or not. But since then, we've had a nice rally. It's staying above the 50-day moving average. But the other big thing to point out, even when it comes to Ethereum, I generally don't look at Ethereum charts because the vast majority of people, especially institutions, are doing their analysis of Bitcoin. So what you can see here is that we have these golden crosses and death crosses. But if you just looked at Ethereum, it's not that useful. So the death cross that happened here was too late, as the crash had already happened, and by the time this death cross came in, it was already over and starting to recover. So even with Ethereum's price, I'll still base it off Bitcoin's chart. So here we have the price chart, same thing again, but this time for Bitcoin. And you can see when doing technical analysis, even for Ethereum or other altcoins, I still prefer to look at Bitcoin. As you'll see, it just makes a lot more sense. Now, this time the death cross happened here, which did in fact change sentiment negative and to fear, and then we got the drop. And when it comes to the future, now we can see we're nicely above the 50-day moving average. But the key point that I am looking for is this 200-day moving average. So this is at around about $50,000. And this is the key price target that I am looking for. Moving on to market sentiment, and this is the fear and greed index. And right now we're pretty much bang in the middle. It goes from 0 to 100 and we're right at neutral. And if we look at the 1-year chart, amazingly, this pretty much follows the Bitcoin and crypto prices. So in the times of greed, the prices are going up. In times of fear is when we get the big crashes. And you can see this is quite cyclical. And I'll always say the best time to be buying is when the sentiment is in extreme fear. And as mentioned, it was in extreme fear when I made my last purchase. And as of right now, we're in this kind of neutral territory, which is kind of the most boring part. For me, it's not really time to be buying, it's not really time to be selling, and we are going to need patience. And to finish up on this price analysis segment, we'll take a look at Bitcoin's logarithmic progression. So if we zoom out and take a look at the big picture, and blockchaincenter.net gives us some bands. So going from bottom to top, we have basically a fire sale. We've got buy, accumulate, it's still cheap. Hodl, is this a bubble? The FOMO is intensifying. Sell, seriously sell, and maximum bubble territory. And very rarely does it get into this maximum bubble territory. In the last big bull run, it only got to, is this a bubble? The FOMO was intensifying before the sell-off, and right now we're pretty much in the still cheap category. And I find after big crashes, it's way more likely for prices to be going up than it is down. I get way more nervous when the market's setting extreme new highs. So when it comes to fundamentals, it pretty much all has to do with supply and demand dynamics. So from the demand side, here is Ethereum's unique addresses, and you can see this is not slowing down at all. In fact, it continues to add millions of new people each and every month. So very positive sign still. Then you could say, well, that could just be a whole bunch of people that don't actually own Ethereum. So this chart shows the number of addresses that actually hold a little bit of Ethereum, and it shows that it's setting new all-time highs. So it's not just new empty accounts. And if we head over to the website called L2Beat, this shows all the different layer 2 companies which are helping to scale up Ethereum. And for me, the most interesting bit is not just how much is locked away, which is just over 6 billion. What's most interesting is just how many companies there are that are all trying to scale up Ethereum. So there's 20 different companies here, all building out layer 2 solutions for Ethereum. And for some reason, I'm not sure why, but Ethereum's biggest layer 2 solution, which is Polygon, isn't on the list. And Polygon has at least 5 billion just by itself. So this should be over 10 billion. But the main point is that when it comes to demand, if one or all of these start to hit traction, it's going to massively scale Ethereum. And when it comes to the supply side of things, add everything I've just mentioned on top of nearly a quarter of Ethereum supply is now locked away in smart contracts. And over the last few years, this was around about 12%, and now it's coming up to 25%. So this just by itself is huge. And then finally, this is the Ethereum balances on exchanges. And you can see over the past year, when we did get the big sell-off, people moved their Ethereum onto exchanges to sell. And we did have this big sell pressure. But as of right now, the amount of Ethereum on exchanges is at a multi-year low. Again, a very bullish sign. So not only do the supply and demand dynamics look great for Ethereum, there's also been 3 recent developments which are incredibly bullish for Ethereum. Number 1 was KPMG announcing adding Ethereum to their corporate treasury. And just look at the source of this news. Investopedia, a massive traditional investing website giving even more exposure to new investors. Now, not only is this one of the top accounting firms which brings huge credibility in itself, think about it. Who are the clients of KPMG? They look after and advise on the accounts of huge corporations. They're going to have potentially hundreds of massive clients on their books that have now all been made aware of Ethereum and that it could be added to their balance sheet as well. Number 2 was the news that hit just this week, which I covered in my last video, all about Michael Saylor's annual Bitcoin for Corporations event. They sat down with the head of sales and marketing from the $4 trillion titan Fidelity. And she mentioned that due to increasing demand from their clients, they're soon going to be adding Ethereum to their platform. And we just got the news that Fidelity have just launched a spot Bitcoin ETF for institutional investors in Europe. And number 3 was some US regulatory developments, and it all had to do with BlockFi. So the news was BlockFi agreed to pay $100 million in a settlement with the SEC, and they must now register their high interest yield product with the SEC. So, why is this good news? Well, think about it. Bad news would have been BlockFi must immediately close down this illegal business and return all the funds. But no, BlockFi is still open for business, and anyone with an account already is still earning up to 9% on their assets, and for international people, nothing has changed. And that BlockFi now just has to register their product with the SEC. So the subtext is that US regulation is progressing, and thanks to BlockFi for paying $100 million, as we all got to earn up to 9% on our cash when the banks were paying next to nothing. And as always, see the link below in the description for more on that. So in summary, this is why I think the price of Ethereum is likely to explode higher than it is today. Ready? Now, when something of value crashes, it's actually more likely to be going higher than it is lower. All things being equal, I get way more nervous when things are setting all-time highs. From a supply and demand point of view, the network continues to add millions of people every single month. Almost a quarter of the supply is being locked away in smart contracts, and there are now 21 different companies all building out layer 2 scaling solutions. We had the accounting giant KPMG with huge corporations on its books, adding Ethereum to its balance sheet, and trillion-dollar behemoth Fidelity will soon be offering Ethereum to their institutional clients as well. And the US indirectly displayed progressive regulatory clarity by not shutting down BlockFi, but just slapping their wrist and asking them to register. And even though Ethereum is still down about 15% this year, I'm not that concerned, considering Ethereum can and does go up 10% in a single day. So think about it, we're only about 2 good days from being back in the black. And notice I didn't even mention Ethereum 2.0 and the massive ESG benefits that institutions love will be coming with proof of stake, and also that their supply will be going deflationary. And if Bitcoin hits the key price target of $50,000 and reclaims the 200-day moving average, then hold on to your hat, folks, because it's going to get wild. So there you are, guys. Hope you enjoyed. What's your thoughts on Ethereum? Are you bullish? Are you bearish? Let me know below. But for now, just to say, if you did enjoy anything in the video, then drop a like, and a big thank you to everyone who does. If you haven't yet subscribed, click below and join us. Got some great videos coming up that you don't want to miss. And to check out BlockFi, for international people, nothing has changed. And for US people who already signed up, congratulations, nothing has changed for you. It's just US people who haven't yet registered. You can claim your account. You will have to wait a little bit longer for the interest account, but you still can register and get access to the Bitcoin credit card. Okay, cheers, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.